retarded ass like way they go about it. Like, oh, it's because he fucking pulled this dildo out of his ass since like 7 orgies ago, and
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Today is April 2nd, 2019. I am with Nocturnal Rooster. I am the Bald Eagle. You can also call Nocturnal Rooster Heine King. I came up with that one. I don't know if he cares about that one, but I thought that was a good one. And I think you might have even had another one. I just can't remember.
Oh, we got others. But, yeah, Heine King, Nocturnal Rooster, that's fine. Happy April.
Yeah.
Happy spring.
I've had some bad experiences with April 1st, but we're not going to get into it. I was thinking about talking about it, but we're not going to get into it. Not today. I was going to do it yesterday, but I just forgot. And it's probably for the best. Not to talk about personal bullshit. Maybe one day, but not right now. Right now, we're going to talk about X-Men Second Coming. Well, not yet. You know what? There are some other things that we wanted to talk about. I'm not fully aware of this, but what happened with Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah, I guess there's just some allegations about him, Me Too, like women coming out against him, saying he touched and kissed them without consent and inappropriately, all that.
Right.
But there was a big picture of him in the newspaper the other day, and it does look, I can't lie, it looks kind of weird. Like, he's mad close to this girl, like, squeezing her shoulders, and, like, almost looks like he's smelling her hair and, like, whispering in her ear,
Holy shit.
And then, like, it just looks bad. But, I mean, maybe he's old school, and I'm just not from that era, but it's just, like, I think the newspaper headline says, it looks different in 2019. So, it just,
Yeah, no, see, I guess I'll have to throw some Louis C.K. under the bus again here, but, like, he hasn't been convicted of anything. He hasn't been prosecuted for anything.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's just he's been known for his kinky stuff.
Yeah.
But he did have, obviously, the worst part of it, which, whether he knew this or not...
Oh, we're talking about Louis C.K.
Right now, which is kind of goes back to this. It all relates. Even with Harvey Weinstein, it all relates. It's someone who has power, and whether they realize it or not, and a lot of times they do realize it, they can abuse that power. And in a situation... You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You do the right thing or the wrong thing? And some of these people pick the wrong thing.
They whip it out.
They whip it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that was one thing. I guess there's also this law I heard about, too, that was passed in some Middle Eastern country. I forget the name at the moment. But essentially, if you're found out proven to be gay, they stone you to death.
That's nothing new.
That's nothing new, huh?
Nah, I think they've had that for a while. I don't know which country you'd be talking about.
This nation just added it to its laws, like it's brand new.
I mean, okay, but I mean, I know that's nothing new for some countries.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, like, I think the Middle East.
I
know most Middle East, it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, in the medieval times, this was done, but I don't know, it's just incredible that in 2019 there's a nation in the world that could pass something like that. But I've been thinking about this a little bit lately as well, with regards to the whole Russian collusion thing. Yeah. Russia is a sovereign...
Illusion. Anyway.
Russia is a sovereign nation, and just like America, which means, like, they can do whatever they choose to do, and no other nation can tell them otherwise. So it's like China is a sovereign nation as well, which is why America probably feels so threatened by China and Russia, because there's not many nations in the world that can just do what the hell they wish without any repercussions. Like this nation in the Middle East, perhaps, they did pass this law saying you can stone gays to death. But they're probably going to face some backlash.
Right.
There was another story about this. We're not like giving any more military helicopters to Egypt because there was like this couple traveling and they got waved through a bunch of checkpoints, but they were technically in a prohibited military zone. And this lady was like getting photos taken of her with like her husband or whatever, and this helicopter opened fire on them and like killed everybody around her, and she survived, but like they offered her $150,000 for like whatever, for compensation, but it didn't cover like anything. Not her trip back to the States, not like her rehabilitation, not like anything, I guess, But so there's repercussions. But certain nations, they can do not they can't just kill innocent people like from other nations. Sometimes they can. Sometimes they can. Dogger Bank, yeah. There's mad incidents like that.
Anyway,
yeah.
I guess I
don't know where I was going with all that, but essentially, as what I'm saying is, America is not the only sovereign nation in the world that can say and do what they wish.
Of course not. Yeah. Any thing you want to say on like the Russian troops in Venezuela?
That's another thing.
Once again, I don't.
There's only 100 of them.
Okay, well, all I will say is, ever since that whole collusion thing, whether that actually happened or not, Trump's done probably some fucked up shit. Don't know what, but I'm done with the mainstream news. I'm done with world news. Like I
makes you sick to your stomach, dude.
I like knowing what's going on technologically and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But my biggest, the only reason why I really pretty much, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who does this, but just to see, is World War III happening or has it happened yet? That's all I'm fucking pretty much checking it out for.
I haven't been shown anything that tells me it's not coming. I still think it's like...
You still really think it's peeking its head through?
Yeah, we're about 8 to 10 years off still.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
You said 5. You said 5 a couple years back.
Well, for me, it's 2027 through 2032. Anywhere in there could start, or it could be from that point to that end.
Now, why do you think that?
The way everything is moving, the direction everything is heading, the way countries treat and talk to one another, the way elections are going about, the way individual citizens and nations, and the way crime is going, and drug usage and terrorism. Maybe I'm just
no. I totally have been. I've always
I buried my head in history.
I've totally
books
these days. Exactly. I'm not like laughing like this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm afraid.
I hope I'm wrong.
The reason
I am wrong.
In the last couple of podcasts, I was just literally talking about fucking the exact same. Like I was just like, why? Like the doomsday clock, for example. Like the 2 minutes, like that just instills fear. Like they're like the news is constantly instilling fear and stuff like that. But like I was just.
If anything, I hope I'm invoking peace.
Well, see now. I was just like, because you've just always had, I guess, from your history books and stuff like that, and not even just history books. I mean, you kind of are pretty. I mean, in my opinion, I think you're a pretty intelligent person.
Nice.
But so I just wanted to know where were you thinking about this? And once again, if you thought that I was like, I'm just
no. I don't want to interrupt you.
I'm feeling a little inebriated right now. So don't worry. I mean, like, why do you think we're going to World War III potentially? I think from all this, the last thing I'm going to be, I just think that we're just trying to avoid World War III. Yeah. But I do think that like a lot of people are very confrontational lately, especially like, and that's a lot of times when there's a lot of people that are confrontational and they get to this point where they want to, you know what I mean, like. Some people want to draw blood. You know what I mean? Like that's where I think World War I and II were not. It's not just two people's ideas. It was a lot of people feeling angsty, and by the end of those two wars, people were pretty much done. But then there's some other people that were left over going like, I still want to do war. I'm not done. Korean War, Vietnam War, etc. Middle East War. You know what I mean?
Vietnam,
etc. You know what I mean? Like there's fucking the Gulf War and all of the. You know what I mean? Like. So it's just, and then I think by this point, a lot of people were pretty much like, done with it. And then obviously, we had 9/11 happen, and just pretty much like this is just like because it was just like, are we going to World War III? So pretty much people were pretty much done with it. And now with the whole Iraq War and all these Afghanistan War, kind of just like. Not really ending, but like pretty much not really being talked about so much anymore.
Yeah, they're not ending. It's not over.
They're not over. The Vietnam War was never over.
It's either over or it isn't over. It's not over.
They have never been. The people are still deployed there. Yeah. That's why it's not over. It has not been over. That it's still. You know what I mean? I think even the World War II, that shit still isn't over. It's not over.
Not between Russia and
Civil
Japan.
War in America, not over. It is not over. It reared its ugly head again once again from the 1700s into the 1900s. So anyway, we're not this. We don't. I mean, John would say
there was a question in there, or
the war. World War III.
World War III.
Why do you think
it's
going to happen
all right,
soon? If you said 2027,
I want to make two comments before I get to the answer.
Go ahead.
The first one was you said after World War II, people said they still weren't done. They wanted to kill more. They wanted more war. That's true. I just wanted to say real quick, what I found interesting about World War I, it was the worst war in modern history, the way it was recorded, the way it was fought, everything. But yet 20 years later, less than 20 years later, World War II broke out. Yeah. And was even worse, arguably.
Right.
So,
I mean, way dirtier, I would say.
True.
Darker, way darker.
Yes.
Once again, like World War I.
Each side pushed way further than they were ever pushed before.
Yeah. I don't think in Civil War, how often? I mean, I'm sure maybe there were some soldiers that were probably like sticking their fucking batons up their enemies' asses after they're done. I'm sure people were chopping off dicks and shit. I'm sure that was happening back. Even with fucking I can't remember his name right now. The Mongolian. He's kind of known for being Dracula, like the inspiration for
Genghis Khan.
Is it Genghis Khan?
I'm not sure. That's the only Mongolian I really know. Is the Khans.
Maybe it's not Mongolian. He was like he had a giant empire and was known for chopping off heads and stuff like that, and sticking off pikes and stuff.
Vlad the Impaler. That's the only other one.
I think he's Vlad the Impaler. He's known for.
I heard this story about him the other week, where it was like he would invite his enemies over to his house, like so he could bury the hatchet, so to speak. Come on in, like we'll settle our differences. Then once all his enemies were inside, it wasn't enemies. It was poor people, because he was running a nation and people were starving, and they were saying his nation, he wasn't feeding his people properly. So he invited all the starving people into his castle, and then he fucking destroyed it and killed them all. And said, I solved starvation.
Oh my lord. That's one way. See, once again, that's one way of looking at how to do it.
Starving people, enemies, I got them confused, I guess.
Yeah, but it's... I guess that's kind of dark, but at the same time, but as we were going, just in relation to all that stuff, just World War II was just pretty much people saying, "Hey, we didn't do enough for World War One," and you know what I mean. Like they were like, I think there were some things, like German fucking soldiers with like their planes would crash, and if they survived or something like that, like. I can't remember if it was German. I can't remember, but like they were like very nice. Like you're a prisoner of war, but like you were treated with respect.
Yeah, because you were royalty in a sense. You were a better class. Yeah. Although soldiers, when they would take prisoners, sometimes I've read some interesting memoirs like Storm of Steel and Human Bullets by Tadayoshi Sakurai. Like the way they would treat their prisoners, they had a lot of respect for. Just where they were coming from. Just the up-close personal interaction of the enemy. But I guess where I was going to the answer of why I think World War III is coming. So I have a lot of respect for World War I, like I was saying, and how 18 years after the end of that, World War II happens, which is worse. So then you also mentioned 9/11 earlier. 9/11, I feel like, was like the ending of a mark of an era, which was the rise of a new global order, the American global order, which I think kind of was the rise of was from 1916 to 2001, 9/11 2001, 8:53 a.m. 9/11 2001 to be exact, because once those planes hit, it was like. The way Americans thought. I mean, you want to talk about propaganda. Even I'm not one of those false flaggers. I'm not really a false flagger. Yeah, but even Pearl Harbor was pretty horrible.
Small. I would say it's a lot small. And once again, that was far off.
And it was from an actual nation.
New York City was literally like in your big bustling, like in front of your face, where the other one was kind of like a pimple on your ass.
In World War I as well, Germany wanted to fucking make an attack on New York City.
They did.
And they did.
There was a giant bomb. No one really talks about
the Black Tom explosion.
Yep.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
And 2 women actually. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you.
No, I didn't know you didn't spit. I didn't notice, and if you did, I don't give a shit. Anyway.
But Black Tom explosion. 2 women journalists actually exposed that. They didn't want to believe that these men were actually involved with it because they knew them and they liked them, but they were friends, co-workers, something along those lines, and they had to expose them. They were German spies. Yeah. But no, I was saying the rise of the American global order is from 16 to 2001, and I just believe that to be the case because we were funding a lot of the allies in World War I: Italy, England, France. We enabled their victory. We enabled the order that we established after that war.
Well, I mean, because of the Civil
War. And all
the
broken fragments a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, before the Civil War, the Revolution was literally at first, that was like the kicking in the bucket, like the beginning of the end of an era.
Yeah, as well.
For the Empire, for the English Empire. It's kind of like the same thing if you want to put it to football nowadays, the end of the era for the Patriots by NRS.
But
anyway.
Essentially, getting back to 1916 to 2001. I mean, a lot of amazing things happened in America. A lot of things happened to the world in that time, the advances that were made. And I feel like after 2001, America definitely took a regression. I mean, if you were born in the early 90s or mid 80s or early 80s or fucking late 70s, early 70s, mid 60s, early 60s in America, you fucking know this. If you were born in the last 50 years of America, you fucking know this. Like, the way the world turned after 01, the way our government, I believe, controls our population, we are very dissected. We're very separated. We don't talk to one another in a way that we should, and it's very authoritarian run, and we've given into that because we take comfort in automatics. We take comfort in the fact that we'll wake up.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah, tell me what to do. Let me go about my business. Let me go about my business. I have things to do. I'm busy. And we're all guilty of this, every single individual. But it creates anger. It creates bitter. It just creates an attitude that's ready for war, even though we're all war weary ourselves. And it's interesting, too, because the war that came from the ending of that era, the rise of the global order, was a war, again, that wasn't actually declared by Congress. We haven't declared war since World War II. And that war, we've been at war, it's our longest war in history, 18 years or whatever going onward, probably the last 18 years and longer. We've only lost 5,000 people. You know,
that's with technology.
And I don't mean to say those 5,000 lives are nothing, but it's, and I respect every single person because I've heard amazing stories. There's been like 6 Medal of Honors handed out during the global war on terror, and they're all incredible stories, like for real. And some of them are from right here in New York State, which is dope as fuck. But that is such a minor sacrifice. Whereas some countries in literally a year and a half experienced 500,000 casualties. And that's like fucking 20% of their nation. You know, so it's like the way you go about it. Fuck, I kind of lost my train of thought here. But,
well, I mean, you're giving me 2 reasons to some context before you wanted to answer the question of World War III. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was going somewhere with that. But, you know, essentially...
Talking about, like, you know what I mean, like, from the...
Just the way people, like... So people don't feel that impact, I think, is where I was going with that. People don't feel the impact of those 5,000 lives, because it's only 5,000, you know? Like, do you know anybody who served in Iraq and was killed that was in your graduating class?
I'm sure maybe.
Or like 3 or 4 years older, like maybe Steven's age. I don't know any.
No.
You know what I mean? My brother was in the Marines. He never went over. He joined in 2011. He never went over there.
Yeah.
That was even during Obama's surge. Like he announced in late 2010 that he was gonna send like 100,000, but take them all out in like less than a year, or maybe it was like 50,000.
Yeah.
I don't really know the fucking numbers.
So it's probably basically like just look how big we are.
Yeah, like we're gonna flex on you. Yeah, get it done.
And we're not gonna have to nuke the place.
And that's why I don't hate Obama. Like that's the other thing. The way the order is run, it is very propaganda. I don't believe in the Russian collusion thing because I think our own nation does that to us 100,000 times worse than any other nation can do. Like they're brainwashing us.
I think every nation does it to their own nation.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I don't think we should believe this whole fucking brainwash operation.
I think the one big reason why they do it, in which I mean, once again, this is nothing new. I'm sure you've probably heard this before, but just suppress the knowledge. I mean, so that no one. You don't want to create hysteria. I mean, if the UFOs did exist, this is an extreme example of what I'm talking about. You know, we're not talking about war anymore. We're talking about fucking aliens right now, like potential UFOs and stuff. But if they did exist,
Why not?
If they do exist, like it's such a crazy concept right now that some people. I mean, like
some people have been ready for it for 100,000 years, though.
Exactly. Some people are ready for it, but some people are not. It would literally. Because it would throw a lot of things like in disarray. There's a lot of things that
I would find it interesting.
It'd be. I'm not against
which is why I'll probably never meet an extraterrestrial.
But I'm just
like, nah, he'll be into it too much, yo. We can't fuck with that kid. No.
Anyway, to get back to the question of the context that you're getting to for the question to answer it. And one question and this is another question I wanted to ask after that question is. Do you think World War I had to happen, and do you think World War II had to happen? But let's go back to, do you think that World War III is going to happen?
Yeah, I
still think it has to happen?
No.
You don't think it has to happen, but you think it's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
There's too much ignorance.
I think there's a lot of ignorance. I mean, once again, like, they're just trying to control, you're just trying to, not even exactly control, once again, it's just you want to give them fear, obviously, in the, I don't want to say this is totally what they're doing all the time, but like if you invoke some kind of fear that they're not going to uprise or anything because they can be stopped, and the other thing is just like if everything's just comfortable, everything is safe, it can move forward a lot faster. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Whatever safe is. Whatever luxury is.
Yeah.
Like how much do you really need?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been watching this one show. I mean, I'm sure other people have watched Penn and Teller's Bullshit. Pretty good. I mean, like, it literally has changed a lot of my, like, fucking thoughts. Because, once again, I haven't put too much thoughts into... I mean, it's just, like, whatever sounds right to me or whatever. And, like...
This isn't anything like Letterkenny, is it? I'm
not sure.
Because a lot of people have been trying to turn me on to Letterkenny, and I don't mean to hate. I don't want to be a hater.
The show is like, it started like,
this is why I don't watch TV anymore. I just don't give a fuck about these stupid ass shows that come out.
Well, no, it's just literally, I mean, like, it's kind of a comedy kind of based thing. Like, Penn and Teller are like they're magicians, but like they're comedy magicians. Okay. But like, they want to, like, there's a lot of like topics that they go through, or subjects I was gonna say, like world peace and like, you know what I mean, can you attain world peace and can you attain this and that, like, you know what I mean, like they kind of just, and they just call out the bullshit for what it is. So and what they think is based on with factual information rather than just like, you know, skepticism. Like, for example, like one of the recent episodes I was watching is organic food, like how in comparison to non-organic food. And they did like one little quick like experiment that they did was like they just had people eat one different. Well, they did two experiments. One was eating a non-organic food. Another one was eating a organic food and telling the difference between which one was which. And they. I mean, I'm sure there were some people that might have picked, and once again, who knows how much of it is skewed, because once again, maybe they're just trying to view it in one aspect. But a lot of these people like were picking the non-organic one, saying that one was tastier than the organic one. And then the other thing they did was, the second experiment was they chopped up a non-organic banana in half, and literally just said one half of it was non-organic, the other half was organic, but it was the same non-organic banana, and they're like, okay, so try this non-organic banana, and they said, okay, it kind of tastes okay, and then they tried the organic banana that's actually non-organic. They said, oh, this one's much creamier, and once again, it goes to the point of just literally saying like, it's all in your fucking head. It's all in your fucking head.
Non-organic banana.
Well, I mean, like, literally in comparison
non-organic banana.
Compared to a non-organic banana would just be like, you know what I mean? You're putting like pesticides.
No, but once you say that, it's like
you're genetically modifying it and stuff like that.
Non-organic bananas.
Yeah, but I mean, we all are for the most part, unless you go to a fucking organic fucking place or whatever. So, it's kind of bullshit. It really is.
I guess we eat non-organic eggs too, probably for the most part.
Well, I mean, anything like you know how like cows and you know how they're all herded in one giant thing.
Yeah.
Once again, another thing is if we did all do purely organic stuff, we'd only be able to serve or feed 4 to 6 billion people. But like we still have about 8 billion. So people like, what about the other 2 billion people?
I gotta say though, like driving through the country, I go to this dirt bike race that's like in New Berlin, New York, near Oneonta.
Yeah.
And I go to it every year in like July, but man, there's like mad cows and horses out. It looks beautiful out there, the way the fields look and everything.
I mean, I don't mind country just like I don't mind city. Maybe I've had some bad city experiences, but I've had some. Who hasn't had bad country experiences? I'm sure if you want to do it, if you live there long enough, you're gonna.
I'm never there long enough for more than 24 hours.
With country setting, you probably don't have to deal with homeless people. Most likely, with vagrants or lone drifters, maybe every now and again.
And also, like you really gotta fucking depend on yourself.
But exactly, you're more independent there, and I mean, like, who else is really out there?
It, but. Like my one boss now, he's from the city of Syracuse, but he's very much like he grew up in North Carolina and then he came back here for whatever reason. But he's very independent in that regard. It's like encourages working on your own vehicle. Yeah. Encourages being away from people.
Yeah. I've been under the philosophy of just owning my own castle, so that's where I'm going at. Anyway, back to the question. You're Oh shit! That's all right. Well, we're gonna stop this real quick, but I'm gonna ask you the question.
Who the fuck is? I don't know.
No, it didn't stop. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go to break. I'm just gonna literally chop this out. All right, Nocturnal Rooster. What is the answer to the question? Do you think World War III is gonna happen?
Man. All right, so we were talking about World War I.
You were talking about you're building up to your answer.
We were talking about
the context of America itself.
Yes, America itself and
how it's been developing
order.
To all the way up to 9/11.
9/11, and then after that, there was things like the Patriot Act, which took form.
Well, I don't know if you know about, like, for example, San Diego now has like 2,400, or I don't know if they're gonna be having 2,400 cameras on like every lamp. Like, well, not 2,400 cameras on every lamp, but like there's gonna be about every. I don't know how they're doing it, but like there's just gonna be a lot of surveillance essentially. Yeah. So Patriot Act in full effect.
I mean, I've even noticed in New York, like for sure, patrols are up. Like you see a lot more cops on the roads nowadays than you used to.
Okay, I just want to say one more thing. It's kind of off topic, but kind of on topic. New York Yankees and New England Patriots. Yankees and Patriots. Those are like pretty much the biggest like words of saying American. And they're pretty much one of the biggest teams.
Yankees is a bit more like derogatory and
for
specific,
the northern side,
though.
But
like if you're a foreigner and you come here and you call someone a Yankee and you do it in a negative way, like
really,
you might get your ass kicked.
Really?
I mean, I'd kick your ass.
If someone called me a Yankee,
why not?
I just thought that Yankee means like literally like.
If someone calls you a Yankee in a derogatory way,
you're a fucking Yankee bastard. Like I mean, if someone called me a Yankee bastard,
not like that, not like a bitch, but if they came up to you,
I don't give a shit. I'm
but if they were like, "Yo, you're a little fucking limp dick Yankee fuck," and I'll fucking kill you. I guess obviously
the context.
I'll fucking sever your head.
The context of it, but I mean, like
you'd grab them by the throat so fucking fast, you'd choke slam them like fucking Kane with his mask still on,
or with my talon like a bald ego.
Word.
Yeah, anyway. Answer the fucking question.
I'd be cockadoodling in the background.
Answer the fucking question.
Well, what I'm getting at is essentially we've been war weary now, because now we're in the longest war, even though it's not a declared war. So we live in this world where we don't carry labels, but we do every single day because we live in a world that is very judgmental of what you're doing with your life every day. It's individualism on a microscopic level, and maybe at
rebel without a cause.
Maybe at one day, war will be extinct. But reading history, as I've said, World War I, individuals, people felt the same exact way, that war was extinct. And if it does happen, it'll be short-lived, just like most other European wars of that modern era, like the Franco-German War, Franco-Prussian War of 1870. Like, that was like an 8-9 month war with a little bit of a rebellion kind of happened afterwards, so it lasted a little over a year. Or the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 lasted about 19 months. Or the Boer War, that lasted about a year and a half. We believe war is extinct because we don't think we can fight it. That it just can't happen nowadays on a scale that it used to. And that's exactly like one of the trappings. It's many trappings. The way our economics work, the way our securities work, the Patriot Act I was talking about, our government can spy on us. The way they can control us, the way they understand us. They have professionals that don't even maybe realize anything that they're doing, but it's working in a direction of that same, just the way it's funded, the way it's labeled, the way it's subcategorized, and it's sad, I could be killed for saying the shit you say,
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. I don't give a fuck. And I believe in America till the day I die. We're only 243 years old, Jer.
With that all being said, do you think America is going to be affected heavily with World War III? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, easily. It's going to be nuclear.
Do you think, for example, do you think America was needed in World War I? Or did they kind of just step in?
Man. Yeah, we were.
I mean, obviously, for World War I and World War II, we definitely pushed it one way or the other, for sure. But I'm just saying, without us...
I mean, with our money alone, we pushed it. But, when we got over there, we were only over there for less than 19 months. We declared war April of 17, and the treaty was signed November of 18. So April of 17, you figure that's 8 months plus, it was like 19 months.
Well,
20 months. And we only had soldiers from September of 17 to, It
was something so significant that it was literally on a global scale that literally they had. I mean, like the fact that it's like if you didn't step in, there's a chance that
Germany could have won. Well, Germany, I mean, they were right at the doorstep, and I mean,
say you didn't. Say we didn't touch it. Say we didn't.
Just like I was talking about, individuals operate on a microscopic level nowadays and have that microscope on them all the time. It was the same way back in the day. Like, if we didn't put troops in France when we did, Germany could have walked right into Paris. They were 90 miles away. If they had taken Paris, if they had taken France, they may have won the war. Britain may have folded. Because at the same time, even the way World War I started, a lot of blame is put on Britain. Not a lot of this is talking about, because it's like, really, you can't put the blame on one country, you shouldn't put the blame on Germany.
Why did Germany do that in the first place?
Well, no, okay, well, the way World War I even broke out, it was really like, there was a lot of heightened tensions, as is, leading up to World War I.
No, exactly, I mean, like,
but
I guess that was a rhetorical question.
Where I'm getting is, Germany wouldn't have attacked France. They wouldn't have invaded France if they knew from the get-go Britain would jump in and fuck them up with their money. Because that was the thing Germany was worried about. Militarily, they could take France any day of the week, any day of the fucking century of the They believed in themselves to fight France because they had many grievances with France. From centuries ago, France was kind of an oppressive dictator on Germany, which is ironic now that one of the most horrified dictator in the world is Adolf Hitler, a German dictator, Austrian. But in a way, France kind of cradled that idea over centuries. Over centuries.
The monster that you can create from centuries. Anger, it's very scary.
Suppression leads to violence.
Fucking A. And we're being... Yeah, anyway.
But where I'm going with that is like... So... Germany, they would have taken France any day of the week. In 1914, they would not have gone to war if they had known from the get-go, hey, if we invade and we, because they had their own set plan, and they wanted to go through Belgium. And that wasn't really a big deal in the 1870s, 80s. But in 1910, it did become a big deal. But it was like too little, too late. We don't give a fuck. That's the route we're taking. We're going right through Belgium because France has all these mechanisms and we can take Belgium. But they couldn't take Belgium, and Germany never conquered Belgium through World War One. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Essentially, Germany didn't give a fuck. They invaded France as well as Belgium in 1914 in order to make the encirclement and take over France and win the war. But 30 days into their decision to go to war, not from the start of the war, but from like July, because Franz Ferdinand was killed in June 28th. Germany didn't declare war until about August 1st. So it was like a whole month later. But they had troops stationed there the whole time, and Britain didn't make their decision to prepare and go to war until like late July. So it was like Germany was already committed to this idea of going to war, doing, stomping over France, and then Britain comes in. So that's why they're kind of blamed for pussyfooting around while Germany was like, this is what we're going to fucking do because we have an ally in Austria-Hungary and they were disrespected. And the ally who disrespected them is an ally of France. And that's our responsibility, is to take care of France while we also take care of Russia. Because that was the whole thing. It was like, it was an actual European event. Yeah.
Can I ask you one more question? I don't mean this. Just because I don't remember this. I remember some of this in social studies, but the Duke Franz Ferdinand, he was for Hungary, right?
Austria-Hungary.
He was killed by a civilian, right? It wasn't like a plant or anything like that. Like it was like a government operation or anything.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not even a finished investigation in a way. Franz Ferdinand was the Archduke of Austria-Hungary.
Yes.
Franz Josef was the leader of Austria-Hungary. And Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the throne.
Okay.
And that nation was created after the Bruderskrieg between Prussia and Austria. Prussia won, and they gained all this land. And then the next year, they went to war against France. And after that war with France, they became the German Empire because of all the land that they conquered and took it over. But the Bruderskrieg was named so because it was so short-lived, and it was really fought over royalty, I believe. But through that war, it was called the Brothers' War. That's the German for it. But through that war, they got their General Moltke, which would design this attack in World War One. And so Franz Josef was the leader of this Austria-Hungary that was created in 1870. Mm-hmm. So they only lasted less than 50 years. So that empire lasted like 44 years. But in a way, it kind of like really steered the direction of the entire world, because that was Germany's main ally in World War One, aside from the Ottoman Empire. But they were kind of a loose cannon, like doing their own path, their own thing.
So we're still in World War One. I guess I don't know. Like I don't know where we're going. Like I know.
I know.
Questions
I
that
was
we're
just
asking.
kind of
We still have to go to Second Coming as well.
I know, man.
So we got So once again,
completely different topic.
World War III, and then I guess did World War One have to happen? Did World War II have to happen? I mean, you don't have to answer those questions.
No, it didn't. But like the way countries treated one another, again, going back to our modern era, like why I think World War III is going to happen, the way people treat one another, it's like things don't necessarily need to happen, but it's like there's some kind of funding going on in the world. Money's going towards a certain direction, a certain thing, and certain people don't think about these things. They don't care about these things. They're not clients, they're employees. Like, they do a certain job. And maybe that job is very heavy-handed. They carry a very heavy tool, but that's all they are, is they're a heavy tool. Yeah. They don't mean any harm, any long-term harm.
Let me just interject with some people can figure out what's going to happen, what the conclusion is going to come to before it happens. But they don't have to go through all the steps. Other people need to learn from mistake or wrong, or, you know what I mean, like, for it to happen, and then they go, oh, this is what happens when you fucking... When
hindsight. We should have done this.
Yeah, but
shut the fuck up.
Some people don't have that. I mean, I will say for one, I mean, like, once again, like, even, like, sometimes even, like, it gets it, you can go dark and go where you know where it's going, and you know it's going to be bad, and you don't give a fuck because that's what you want. That's dark. That's some dark shit. You know, like, that's, like, I would say, I mean, with Hitler, for example, that's fucking, that's going too, I mean, like, you have power and you're going far. But anyway,
It's crazy. It's crazy, so, but yeah.
So, you can, like, once again, you can go a very fucking dark route if you want to. And some people, obviously, are very dumb and can be very dumb and don't know all the information, don't know all the variables, but still goes fucking gung-ho, jump into that fucking pool without knowing if there's water in it or not. Or the fucking, it's gonna be, the pool will be filled, but will be fucking a bunch of bodies, just fucking dead or paralyzed. Anyway, so World War III is gonna happen. Why?
Yes, it's gonna happen because countries are gonna force themselves into a corner that they don't even know exists yet, and they're gonna be like, oh fuck, well my choices are limited, and then in another 5 years they're gonna be like, damn, my choices are really limited. I got about 3 right now. Well, I'll take this one. Fuck, I knew that was going to happen. I knew 2 of those 3 choices were going to land in that position, and I chose one of them.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like, just like the outcome's going to happen, but like it's just so you can stare at it.
Too much lying. You can only lie for so long. Yeah. And I honestly think we're paying for crimes maybe since 2001, maybe since before then.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is another question. Do you think sometimes it's a good idea to
crimes
keep
to
secrets?
Our own nation?
Do you think it's a good idea to keep secrets from the public?
No, it's not. You know,
so you can create hysteria.
It's not so much even secrets. Like if you don't tell everything, it doesn't mean you're withholding truth.
For like the Mueller
if you go to the grocery store and you're buying milk, you're not lying to the cashier because you didn't tell her your whole life story.
Right.
You just didn't. Like, it didn't come up. You know what I mean? You know, but I mean, to an extent, like, there's gonna be circumstances, interactions that you have with people, and you're gonna have the opportunity to tell the truth, and you should.
Yeah.
You know, you should disclose some information.
There's sometimes where, once again, like I would say, like with the superhero dynamic where they have an alias. So sometimes there's some things that you just don't need to talk about because either A, they don't need to know, B, it's just sometimes it's better that they don't know.
Do you think there's a difference between lying and withholding the truth?
You can lie and you can also not tell the truth. So like lying would be literally you're saying something that's very false. Not telling the truth is just not telling the truth. You can walk around.
Well, I don't get that one. Wait, not telling the truth that's not lying though?
You're just not giving your answer. You're walking around it.
Word.
You're just not, like, you know what I mean? Like,
politician, like.
Yeah, exactly. It's lawyer talk and all that
lawyer
shit.
Talk,
you're just literally, you're not lying.
Being a vil.
Yeah, you're not lying, but you're not telling the truth.
Word, dude.
You can be honest, but you're not telling the truth, and you could be lying. Because you end up, but you're not lying as well. You're
honest, but you're not telling the truth.
You're being honest, but you're not telling the truth because, I mean, like, say it's like, you're like, a promise. I'm going to buy a can of paint tomorrow.
A paint of can?
And then the day after happens, like, did you end up picking up that paint can? No, I forgot. You were honest in that intention, but are you lying? No, you just weren't telling the truth.
But he felt you lied to him.
But you weren't telling the truth either.
You weren't telling the truth.
You were honest.
Damn.
But you weren't telling that. You weren't lying though, and you weren't. So I mean, I don't mean to. But you know what I mean. Like
that ties in with destiny and all that.
So yeah. Well, anyway. Is World War III happening? And I can once again I see what you're saying.
I don't want it to.
So
I do not want it to.
In a sense, we're because obviously there's once again that whole Penn and Teller bullshit. Like they were saying, who wants to start a war? I'm sure there's someone who's like, you know what I mean. There might be some people like a minute, very small minority of people going like, yeah, man, if there was a war, that'd be fucking great. But when it gets to a point where more than just a minority fucking, and I'm not saying like minority like race or anything like that, when there's like literally a lot of people, a conglomerate of people going like, we need, you know what I mean, like I want to bust some skulls, I'm fucking pissed.
A small percentage of thinkage.
And half the time, like it's not even like it's not, once again, it's that rebel without a cause. Like there's just you want to smash some heads, you don't give a shit who it is, you're just angry. Yeah. And you're not angry at anything in particular. You should be venting that out in another way or something like that, but you're not. So, that accumulated with obviously all the whole political bullshit, and that's what a world war is made out of. So, political bullshit and anger. Real. So,
and enabling of the economics.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes forcing a message. That's forcing a message upon people.
Because that's the other thing.
And people don't obviously.
Before the outbreak of World War I, they believed the economy of all the nations couldn't handle a world war. Yeah. Just like now, they're like, oh, we're trillions of dollars in debt. Yep. We could never handle a fucking world war. John Stewart says the survival of the American nation depends on us not getting into an involved war. Well, you know what? The leaders of this nation don't really give a fuck about the continuation of a nation because their fucking names and their riches are going to continue. Doesn't matter what country is in charge at the top as long as they got the connections involved. Right. So.
It's true. I mean, I think even with probably.
They'll fucking throw America to the wind just like Austria-Hungary back in 1914. Mm-hmm. You don't think that there was nations involved that wanted to see them exited? They were a Catholic nation, literally. Like, not even the Italian Empire at that point was identified as a Catholic nation. I don't know why Austria-Hungary was, but they were identified as a Catholic nation, even though at the same time they identified more than 13 different ethnicities as like actual individuals. Like nowadays, like in America, there's only like white and black, and English is our language. Like there was more than 11 different languages identified in the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Well, I'll say we probably got about 2 now.
And that's in 44 years. Yeah, we may have 2 in like 250 fucking years, but like
finally going like, oh, 11. South America exists.
And that's the thing. Americans just do not respect the fact that, okay, we have Mexico. Yeah, there's, maybe a problem with the border and migrants. Okay, I understand that. You got Mexico, you got Honduras, Guatemala, or not Guatemala, fucking Honduras, Belize. And
3 Mexican countries.
Maybe fucking not even 10, all right? But on Russia, their southern border, they have more than fucking 10 different countries bordering them. They have more than, they stretch all the way to the Asian fucking Pacific, where they have Japan and Korea and China right on their border. So it's like, you're telling me they don't understand us, they're trying to influence us? Like, just take a time out and look at them and what they're dealing with, what their neighbors are. I don't know, it makes me scratches my head,
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I could ask you, I feel like we got the first question answered now. Did World War I have to happen?
No, but it did.
I think that it had to happen because, once again, there are some people that didn't, there's a lesson that needed to be learned. And, see, for example, some of the biggest cases are why we have laws in the first place. Everything's black and white. But then the gray happens. And we gotta figure this shit out. And once again, it's very dark to say this shit. Man. It's very dark to say this shit. World War II had to happen. We needed some asshole.
Do you know of any of your ancestors that served in World War I?
I can't say. I mean, but I'm sure
you probably
I'm sure,
did.
I'm sure,
or at least the Russian Civil War, because you're Norwegian, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They fought against the Russians
and I mean I'm German and Norwegian, so I mean yes,
Russians
so
were trying to take them over.
But what I'm saying is like once again like it's unfortunate that it had to happen, but sometimes lessons got to be learned some way or another. Like once again, I'm not saying you need to force it into it. I'm just saying though, it happened because you know what I mean. Like
it was going to happen in one form
it's
or
gonna happen.
another.
It's gonna happen in the future. It's either do it now or do it in the fucking future, where it's gonna maybe even be worse. It could be also. It could
Eagle.
be. It could get much smaller. It could be a small thing in the future. It depends. I don't know. It could be way worse. Sometimes when you bottle, you know what I mean. Like, but that's a lot of things. It's like once again, like the government is just like a body. It's just a human body. I mean, like it's just literally like you know what I mean. Like it's got thoughts. But sometimes it's got millions of thoughts. Anyway. So now, once again, with World War II, like it's not like we haven't had genocide before. It's just on a bigger scale. Like we're now more aware of this kind of thing. I mean, why didn't it take with Africa? Why didn't it take? I mean, with all these other genocides. I mean, why did it take World War II for us to go? Man, this is inhumane. We shouldn't be.
That's the thing. Genocides were happening in the 90s.
Even in Japan. I mean, like even worse. I mean, like there was some darker shit that Japan was even doing. But like, why did we make such more mention on what? I mean, like, is it just because they're? I mean, Germany is secondly the bigger enemy than Japan. I mean. It depends on how you're seeing it, man. It all depends on how you're seeing it. I mean, obviously, in a sense, Germany probably killed a lot more, but did they? I mean, honestly, if you want to do the scale, I can't remember.
Japan was good at burying.
Well, Japan was also good at is fucking doing some crazy ass experiments.
Yeah,
I just remember how many they went through with all the prisoner of wars. I can't remember of wars, prisoners.
I don't know if it's been proven necessarily, but like Amelia Earhart, there's pictures of them like of her being captured there along with her co-pilot Fred. I forget his last name, but like. There's like stories of her being like tortured for like weeks at a time. And I don't know how true it is, you know, because there's never really been any, but I'm like, unfortunately, like I have a lot of respect for Japan, just because of like what they went through from like the 1850s through the 1930s. Like after that, they kind of like lost my loyalty. Direction.
This is all ties in the same.
But again, like there was so many factions in their government. Like they were a government, but just like ours. There's so many different factions, like, and it's bad that that's happened. Yeah. As a people, as a civilian population of America, we have a responsibility to stop what is going on and to take control. But we can't because the flow of information is so infinite and so constant. We can't control.
And sometimes the information can break somebody.
And that's why World War III, I believe, will happen because. The flow of information is just going to continue. Even if every person in this nation wants to stop it, we don't have the ability to connect with one another, or even the want and the desire and the strive and the fucking whatever it takes to get us there. So that's why I feel like it's going to happen because it's inevitable.
Right. Well, I mean, going back, tying in with everything with Amelia Earhart. So once again, you know, the first woman to try to. Go around the world, and we always got to ask the question of why. Why did they want to do it, and what happened to them? And a lot of times you don't want to know what happens to them because it could be a lot darker than it actually, you know. Same with like World War I and World War II and all these secrets that the government, and not just the government of the United States, but many governments. The reason why they don't tell, they keep secrets is because. Do you really want to know? Do you like? It's like pretty much like what's the I think in Indiana Jones, the Ark.
I want to know what happened with 9/11.
Covenant, I can't remember the fuck it is.
They produced something about Saudi Arabia with 9/11, but it was like heavily redacted. The U.S. government, and I'd like to know that.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, like, but the thing is though, like.
Or even Khashoggi. That's like a chapter with this journalist that he was a Middle Eastern. I don't know if he was born in Saudi Arabia, but he was living in America. But he entered the embassy in Saudi Arabia. He was murdered. He was chopped up. Yeah. That's like a chapter that continues the story. Yeah. Just like Dogger Bank. Like that was an incident that happened in the early 1900s. That was like over 10 years before the outbreak of World War I. But because it happened, it created such friction between allied nations, or European nations, I should say. Yeah. So it was like Britain and Germany became more distrusting of one another just through the functions of that court hearing.
Yeah. Well, okay, so now I'm going to throw out another example here, which kind of also ties in with what we were just talking about. So, say for example, and once again, some people might get pissed off at what I'm about to say again. But say for example, there's a big enemy. We'll call him Hitler. We're going to say Hitler 2, and he's in fucking the desert because he's in the desert and he's going to kill thousands of people, and he has the intentions of doing so. So you send in a little special team to go and take out that person. And within that time frame, some innocent people along the way are killed. But by the end of the day, you kill the main person, and he or she was going to kill thousands of people. But through that entire thing, a couple of innocent lives were taken out on accident. How many people are going to be paying attention to the main operation being taken out compared to the innocents, and once again the details of it all? That, you know what I mean? Like, they could, and a lot of times they keep that information secret. They don't talk about the innocent lives being lost. They don't talk about some of the smaller things. Technically, innocent lives are considered the smaller things. So, I mean, like, on the grand scale of everything, when you see when you see all of it, you are the train operator, and there's 5 people on one track, and there's 2 people on the other track, and you pick which people are going to live. 5 people or 2 people. Someone's going to die, though. Someone's fucking dying. Sorry. And sadly, the worst part of it is, other people have no idea and have never had that control of that fucking operating table. So all they are aware of is 2 people fucking died. 5 people died. What if those 2 people were very significant to the fucking... these were the 2 people...
What if those 5 were?
Well, exactly. No, you don't know. Say, like, what if those... Like, okay, so 3...
2 were deadbeats, and those 5 were...
Exactly. No. Say 3 out of the 5 were just... Like, they aren't going to do anything with their lives. In fact, they're going to... If they had power, they're going to plummet this place to the ground, because all they give a shit about is eating food.
Different...
So... But there's one exactly. But that's a lot of people like to cherry pick information, and a lot of people don't know all the variables, and they don't know all the details. So it's a whole big fucking can of worms, man. And the worst part of it is that it has to happen, and it sucks.
I got pissed.
Go on ahead. We're gonna go. Well, honestly, while he goes, I'm gonna go and start talking about. I'm going to talk about some things that I think for what would have happened with World War II if America did not go into it. Okay, so America, they don't step in. They don't give a flying fuck. So Germany then goes, and they're starting to take out more and more of Europe, but they still want to take out Russia because they're a big head, and Russia's still trying to, like, obviously they see it as a threat. So, and obviously we can tell, and I mean, obviously this is all fucking speculation here right now. So, and you could see, obviously, with the English Empire, that they had then started taking over Africa and stuff. So you could see that it's possible for a small country, very tiny country, to become a giant empire. So if America, if evil is taking over, if the wrong thing is taking over, Can it exist? Can it all exist? When we make all these fantasies and all these dystopian things, like, even with Judge Dredd and stuff like that, I mean, the cool ass concept, but at the same time, like, are these actual realities, or are they? Is it just always like? Are we on this main timeline where only, like, you know what I mean? Only it just keeps existing somehow, or are we living in, like, kind of like more of like this, like, slave ship, like, you know what I mean? It's just there's more and lesser slaves, and it's all, I don't know. Anyway, I'm fucking getting off point here. America doesn't go in, and obviously it's very wrong for genocide is wrong in general. So for them not to step in and try to take it all down, even if they did know or did not know about it, it's fucked up on their part for not coming in if they didn't come in. So I still don't think Germany would have been able to take out Russia. And I feel like maybe Russia would have I think Russia, honestly, inevitably, maybe would have taken out Germany, and not to mention, I mean, like, I don't know, man. I really don't. I think if America didn't step in, I still think that Germany would have been stopped. I just think, not that I don't think America definitely didn't sway it in a fucking certain point, because obviously once we stepped in, it was just really kind of like, all right, and it was like an arm wrestle, and obviously, I mean, once when we applied our power, it just kind of like pretty much like just we're cleaning a house by that point. So, yeah, I think that honestly, Russia would have definitely a big. I mean, I don't know if you were listening or hearing this at all, but long story short, I really think that if America didn't step in, I think that we obviously, I said like an World War II, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, with that being said, you can go. Yeah, yeah. And the bottle openers on the bowl on top of the TV out there. You'll see what I mean. But what I was gonna say is, thank you. What I was gonna say is, I think Russia honestly would have been able to stop Germany. Honestly, I mean, because they wouldn't be able. Yeah, for World War II, Germany, they couldn't even exit. They couldn't even get into Russia.
You can't conquer Russia, just like you can't conquer America.
Well, I mean, it was like an arm. I said it was an arm wrestle, and like pretty much we applied our force in, and that kind of pretty much cleaned house. That was pretty much all it really did. But if we didn't step in, I mean, obviously, a lot more people probably would have gotten killed for sure. And, I mean, maybe Germany would have been able to take out all of Africa, maybe even, gotten down from Europe and into Africa, I think, maybe. But after that, I mean, like, that would have been a giant... This is speculation. This is speculation. Yeah, it's okay. Once again... No, dude, you could... It's the TV behind you. TV... Okay, yeah, it's okay. Literally on top of the TV right there. In the bowl is is a can opener, but that's what I've been using for... There we go. Yes. Rock and roll. Okay. So, I mean, once again, I want to get into Second Coming, but this is all speculation right here. Did you grab... Okay, you got one. All right. But I mean, like, I think if... And the thing is, though, the craziest thing is if Russia actually single-handedly took out Germany, I really think America... Like, it'd be... America wouldn't be as... I don't know how patriotic they'd really be. Because, once again, like, because of World War I and because of World War II and all these other wars... Disagree. Like, that's where, like, we got really patriotic. We got really egotistic. Like, we did it. It was us. It was our power and stuff. True. So, because of all of that, like, that's why... We're kind of also like consider like a lot of people are like fuck America for being so egotistical.
But in the long run, we were very egotistical post World War II. Like we did,
and we also once again we were the ones that pretty much single-handedly ended not single-handedly, but single-handedly started the end of an empire. That being England, because then India did the same. You know what I mean? All the anyway.
But their demise was even before World War I. But
Oh yeah, I mean it was like I said, like it started with Civil War. Well, not Civil War, but the American Revolution.
Oh kind of you could argue that far back. I was gonna say like the 1800s, 1880s, really. But no, I was gonna say like if America didn't intervene and Russia did take care of Germany in World War II, I think maybe today we would be more patriotic than we are now. I feel like today we're not patriotic at all, which is why we're in trouble. I always thought America was going to do all right in World War III. Now I'm not so sure, the way...
I think if say we were invaded, I really think people would...
People don't give a fuck. They'll surrender. They'll sign whatever
once again, the reason why I really think, once again, it has to happen sometimes, because once again, when it happens, people then want to unite, because they can see that people unite, they go, okay, I see what is wrong, and I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what I mean? There aren't even people, there might be some extreme people like, I want war, but by the end of the day, they're like, what was I thinking? I'm so wrong.
But, like, really, in a way, if World War III is going to happen anywhere, it's probably going to happen here in the States. And, like, I think we'd still win at the end of the day, because I feel like it's impossible to conquer America. Like, we conquered America, but in a very different fashion. The US of A, which is probably why we're looked down upon by Vladimir Putin, by other nations of the world. Like, we're not so heavy, we're not so hot and heavy. And it's true, because like we conquered our nation through dirty deals, through money, through allies. Like America never existed without an ally. We had France before we were even technically won our war. You know what I mean? So
that was later on. That was later in the revolution. But it did help us. It sure did help us.
Fucking
just like the Indian troops also helped us and kind of hurt us because obviously they were also.
Because eventually,
used against
Britain had to even end the war. They signed a treaty. That was back in the fucking 1780s. We still haven't even signed a treaty in Iraq. Because we can't, because there is no fucking nation in Iraq. So that's why we just keep sending troops there like a police state. Because it's like a fucking edge city here in America without any authoritarianism behind it.
I mean, I could see how World War III could happen. But I don't think Russia's going to start it. I don't think China's going to start it. If anything,
it could be a terrorist, just like Gavrilo Princip.
I don't even think
you asked me earlier if I don't mean to interject or interrupt. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, if anything, it might be Saudi Arabia dropping bombs. But like that might even be a fear-mongering thing, because once again, like we've had this fear thing that Russia's trying to take us over and Russia's trying to do this and shit like that. Like what and China's trying to take us, trying to take us out and stuff like that. What if they're just trying to expand? I mean, obviously Russia taking over the Ukraine and stuff like that. That's their own drama and politics.
Exactly, they are a sovereign nation. And they have so many more neighbors than we do. We have Mexico, and our bureaucracy is like stronger than any other nation. So when it comes to Mexico, that's a whole other nation. Paperwork we gotta deal with. Russia, they got Ukraine, they got Jordan, fucking Iran, Iraq. They got the whole Middle East like as their whole fucking backyard, essentially. Like we talk about the Middle East like it's our main problem, like it's our Mexico. It's Russia's actual Mexico. Like everything south of Russia,
literally neighbors.
They are literally neighbors.
The only reason
they have 14 nations.
The only reason why I think
neighbors.
It's our problem is because of the whole oil thing.
Yeah,
and it's not like we can't get our own oil. I think we actually get a lot of our reserve from Alaska or something like that.
It's also the way we build our vehicles too. Like there's too much fucking.
Well, regardless of once again climate change and all that shit, if we are really regardless of that, it just would be a lot easier to recharge your fucking thing and then have to go to a gas station and fucking blah 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 blah. It's not even like the whole inconvenience thing. It's just literally it's practical. The next step. That's what we're trying to get at. I mean, like we don't have to, I mean, like obviously the whole why fix.
I heard this story though.
It's not that fixed.
We were kind of on the topic of like ancestry and everything in World War One. I had this ancestor who survived World War One, and one of his brothers stayed in Italy, and he had a son who was serving in the army. He had two sons, actually, that were serving in the Italian army in World War II. Okay. One of them had to go to Russia to invade Russia.
Oh, shit.
They never heard from him again.
Oh, shit.
The other one was supposed to defend Italy against the Americans. He was taken prisoner and put in Texas. So that's one, one could strive down that path and be like, why is America better than Russia? Because Russia, they probably did some fucked up shit to that kid, or they killed him like he was nothing. Yeah, or he froze to death, or something happened to him, unfortunately,
Or maybe even Japan.
God rest his soul. Yeah. But here in America, the one who was fortunate to defend against Americans... He was taken prisoner, and he was served in Texas. My great-grandfather Grilly, who survived World War One, he took this shitty-ass car, like a 1930s Ford, and he drove it all the way to Texas from New York State. And this was before highways. We're talking World War II. 81 wasn't built until the 60s, or the 50s, So this was before... any highways existed. Eisenhower is the king of highways. So, like, I don't know. It's just an interesting concept that, I don't know where I was going with that.
That's okay. I mean, you were talking about just another thing.
Just some ancestry shit, yeah.
All right, so we're finally going into a second comment. Some preface on this book, because I got the book right in my hands right now. I've read this now like about twice, I want to say. I don't know how many times you've read this.
Probably twice or more.
Okay. So this is pretty much the ending, the closing chapter for a giant corporate bullshit, copyright bullshit idea. A long story short, it's pretty much some good writers having to deal with a giant bullshit idea. The only reason why this exists is literally because Marvel sold their copyright. And once again, they were in some dire times, and they were looking for a way out so that they can, survive. Yeah. And with that being said, you got movies starting to come out in the 2000s.
Life support.
So yeah, and on one side, it kept them alive probably. But on the other side, because of that, they also had to change their entire universe based on one idea that didn't even have to Did they have to go once again? Did they have to go and sell their licenses or the license rights and stuff like that? Would comics exist still to this day? I think so. I just think that it probably wouldn't be Marvel and DC. It might be another fucking company. And if anything, it could be even worse. It could be more of a conglomerate. Just like instead of two of them, it'd be one. Which it's not like that might not happen still.
Yeah, there's talks that DC might sell to Marvel here soon, or Disney, which would just be under Marvel. So imagine Batman under a Marvel title.
A preface to Second Coming. Essentially, I think was it Scarlet Witch or was it I can't remember who did it, but someone pretty much removed a bunch of mutants.
Yep, yeah, it was Scarlet Witch in House of M.
And
2008.
And this is pretty much
2004.
Like I said, the closing chapter of that entire saga. So you said 2004ish?
Yeah, 2004.
So 2004, and this is I think 2009. I think. Hold on. It says 2010, 2011. So that was about 6.
Yeah, I remember because we were in high school. It was like October of 2010, going into our junior year. October of 2009 into 2010. That's the trade paperback. Yeah. So all the issues came out like a year before that.
Yeah. Okay. The only reason why this happened is because Marvel didn't want to make money for Fox, or specifically it was Fox. So they killed off their characters so that they could only make money off of their movies.
Yep. Which is so funny because Fox doesn't even use any of the material back in the day. That's the thing. Like, how much did they really touch upon in those first 3 movies?
It just didn't matter. It's just the fact that, literally, this is an awesome... X-Men 2? That's awesome, so I'm going to go and read some
each issue
comics.
could have been a whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the crazy idea behind it all.
Yeah.
Each panel could have been a fucking movie.
Yeah. But they did their best with their idea that they came up with, which was to pretty much remove almost all trace of...
mutants?
One of their main components of why they even exist to this day.
I know. That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
It'd be like, why not just and it's not like they, Captain America just kind of went away. You know what I mean? Some of these characters just kind of go away. They were killing these characters off. And they were doing it for a reason. Obviously there was, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's what they fucking did. But it was a very tainted kind of lemonade.
When life hands me lemons, I make beef stew. Just like
I pissed in that lemonade.
What's that kid's name? Andy Milonakis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peanut butter slap.
You sunk my fucking battleship.
Anyway, so.
But no, I was gonna say real quick. They didn't need to go that route, and I was gonna go somewhere particular with that. I'm too drunk at this point.
Yeah, I can't remember where you were.
But fuck, I don't got it right now.
We were talking about DC and Marvel and how DC might get bought out by them, but also we're talking about Marvel. Selling their licensing to Fox, so that but then having to remove their characters because they didn't want to give money to Fox. Maybe it'll come to you later on.
Yeah.
But pretty much like the beginning of Second Coming is there's a new character called Hope Summers. It's Scott Summers' kid from the future, and she's accompanied by Cable, and they're on the lookout to find them, because obviously the Hope's the beginning of the future, or the beginning of the future of the mutant, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, like, kind of, like, quite literally, they use hope, like, you know, the definition of hope, and you kind of see, like, everyone's, like, you know, their usage of the word hope, and, like, you know what I mean, it's a nice little symbol. You know, they kind of play some imagery on religion, she being kind of like a messiah of sorts. Then they kind of have the typical, like, I would say it was kind of like the start of the 90s. Maybe it was even earlier than that. Maybe it was probably the 70s even, where they started to have like mutant hatred groups. I don't know how early that was. But this is kind of, once again, a mutant hatred group are trying to extinct out the X-Men, or just mutant race in general. Cable and Hope make it. They're pretty much being tailed the entire time by said hatred group, but X-Men are trying to find them, and Cable and Hope are trying to find the X-Men.
And there's some beautiful covers by David Finch.
There's some really good artwork.
David
honestly.
Finch, really man, he did this whole story mad justice. Like, this story probably be 10 times less rememberable if not for his covers. And he only did 2 issues out of the whole story. Exactly.
New Mutants number 12. I honestly, such beautiful. I mean, honestly,
Danny Moonstar right on the forefront.
This makes me want to read New Mutants, and once I want to start from the beginning and read all of it.
Yeah. And it looks nothing like that.
So, where are we right now?
That's like comics for you in a nutshell, though. They always say, like, this cover, like, that's one of, like, the inside jokes of comics is, like, the cover might not, you know, describe what's on the inside, you know? Sometimes
they do a pretty good symbolism.
They do, sometimes.
In one of these covers, I think it's, like, Hope and, like, Emma Diamond, and she's got a bunch of blood on her fucking...
Word.
Or not Emma Diamond, sorry, it's, I forgot her...
Rogue?
No, who's, the White Queen. I can't remember her fucking name. Something Diamond.
Pretty much Frost? Diamond, yeah. Diamond Frost, Emma Frost.
Is her name Emma Frost?
Emma Frost. Okay, Emma Frost. I believe so.
So essentially, New Mutants. They
How fucking old are we?
I don't know. They gotta take out one group of, like, I don't know. They're trying to take out the Thing and the blah 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 blah.
Yo, I gotta get you the first appearance of Gambit.
That'd be dope. I might have to do it anyway.
That's gonna be a gift for you for May 20th.
Let's stay on fucking topic here. Eventually it comes out that there's been an X-Force group all along that pretty much have been killing people, or, you know, doing dirty shit, and a lot of the X-Men are not aware of it. Like, for example, Nightcrawler wants to have a talk with Cyclops after.
I want to have a talk with you.
And there's some other characters that were not, like, Beast.
What you want, bitch?
I think Beast left beforehand because he found out about it.
Yeah, he did.
We're now at the.
He left before Nation X. Yeah. He left in, like, 518.
Yeah.
Or issue 1 of Nation X, because I remember Nation X was like an 8-parter before the start of Second Coming, and he left like the first issue, 519, for the Avengers, which he left the X-Men originally for the Avengers as well. And I always liked Beast, but like that was one thing I didn't like about him. I was like, why the fuck you leaving the X-Men for the Avengers? Fuck the Avengers. Why the fuck you leaving the X-Men?
There's someone who run. I mean, he was on the Defenders, I think, for a little bit.
Oh, was he?
And then, well, early.
That's the thing. I don't really know much about the Defenders. Like, I know there was that chick Valkyrie.
Yeah, I think that she was later on.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know too much on the Defenders myself.
I know the Champions. I don't know the Defenders. Yeah. Do you ever hear the Champions?
Champions, like Hercules and a couple other ones.
Yeah, Hercules, Angel, Ghost Riders, Iceman.
Anyway, back on track. New Mutants, some of the members get horribly fucked up, and it kind of happens later on as well. More mutants get, like, really fucked up. They lose their hands and shit. So, like, we're starting to see this era. Not that we didn't have it before, but, like, they're now really trying to push in that, like, you know, the gore aspect, or, like, you know, the a real aspect. I don't know, like where like beforehand, like someone would like maybe get punched or something like that. Wolverine would only be able to attack like robots and shit. He would never attack humans or whatever. Yeah. So X-Force is kind of the beginning of that and stuff, and they're kind of like. Really
that's why I got, dude. That's why like with Second Coming, X-23 again, David Finch. Like the first issue, she stabs a dude right through the head. Like you're gonna hunt mutants, you're gonna fucking carry this weapon around,
right.
and kill people who aren't as prepared as I am, and you almost got me. Like you're done. You know, she killed him,
right.
And that's why I like X-23. She don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You attack me, I'm gonna take you out.
I'm trying to find that scene where that even happens.
That's the first issue.
Is it in the first issue?
Yeah, literally the first, because he only does 2 issues, David Finch. You flip through there, like it's like maybe right after the Jeep is attacked.
Right here.
Like Hope and Cable are driving in the Jeep down the thruway or the highway, and then X-Force shows up.
Right here.
Yup. 2 panels.
I don't know if that's the first issue. It could be the second one, but it's yep.
Well, it's
and that's
technically
the beginning.
The second.
That's finding. That's where Nightcrawler finds out about X-Force.
Yep.
I'm like the. So, New Mutants are able to thwart one thing. One of the I don't know. They're able to beat out. I can't remember what the fuck it is, but I'm telling a really shitty description right now.
It gets softer as the book goes on. Like in the beginning, man, the X-Men are all about doing what they gotta do, and then by the end, they're like, we have to fucking understand everybody, and we have to bring this to a peaceful end. But in the beginning, they were ready to fucking kill anybody who came in their path. Right. Look at Warlock. Look at X-23.
Well, Warlock was the only reason why he did that is because they, you know what I mean, like once like they were. If he didn't do that, they would all be dead. He once again he was pushed into a corner where he couldn't.
X-23 felt the same way.
Yeah. So exactly. Know? And that's where we are.
Self-preservation. That's how they all felt.
Yeah.
By the end, it was like we have to be a fucking symbol to the world or whatever.
Slowly more mutants are being killed, and eventually Hope, Cable, and the X-Men are found, or they find each other. I'm just trying to fucking get to that point. I think Nightcrawler was the one who finds them and has to bamf himself all the way to like some fucking thing, but is very tired. Gets killed by I forgot the guy's
Neo Sentinel, yeah.
He did. I mean, like honestly,
regenerating Sentinel.
Like
basically.
There's times where obviously, like it's like too late, almost too late. Like what I mean, like in this case, like Nightcrawler is too late, but not too late. Like he saves Hope, but he's through the sacrifice of himself. But I mean, I feel like that was just more of a dramatic thing. Like it's just like what would happen if Nightcrawler's able to save her, but he gets killed in the process. It's kind of like that thing. It's like, but it was like more of like, I guess if you wanted to say like back to the 70s or the 80s, like in like the last second, like Nightcrawler would have saved both himself and you know what I mean. But by this point, they're not doing that anymore. So
yeah, but at the same time, they want to keep that character. Within a year, they were like, oh well,
because they see how the fans speak.
Apocalypse Nightcrawler is coming back, and through that. Nightcrawler, the actual Nightcrawler, he's gonna survive too.
It's interesting that Jean Grey was dead for so long. Like it's just a character that apparently just no one gave a shit about.
That was at the same time though when they were rebooting the whole universe as is. Like that book came back in 72. Like you gotta remember X-Men, it was canceled after 5 years in 68 or so. Like 63 to 68 it lasted. And it was canceled. And then it was rebooted in 72. And it lasted, through the 2000s until it was canceled at 544, long after Second Coming ended. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when you think about it, it's easy to imagine why Phoenix has been gone so long, because she was. The direction her story took at the time it was taken, it was at a time when the book wasn't popular still. It wasn't a big deal if this character went away permanently, and that's what they did. They projected the X-Men towards a whole nother path, and therefore like more popular. I mean, they were already on their path when that started. Fuck, I'm fucking up, but like when the X-Men was rebooted essentially in the 70s, it was with a whole nother team, with Colossus, with Nightcrawler coming. X-Men. Yeah, exactly. Like it introduced a whole nother set of X-Men with Len Wein as the artist and writer. And all
I don't know if he was the artist. I think he was just a writer.
Okay, a writer. He was kind of like a co-designer, I think, as well. But essentially, when Jean Grey was made into the Dark Phoenix and did whatever the fuck she did, they weren't a big deal still. Like they were becoming more popular, but they weren't a big deal. So then in another 10, 15 years, when it was a big deal, it was like, what other story do we tell? Because these fans of that story, of that Space Odyssey, are waiting for that follow-up, and we've only been able to deliver like grimy street stories, which is what X-Men kind of became after that. And even leading up to that, they were that, like the story of Dazzler, it was like a story of a celebrity, a pop singer, who became a mutant. So I just feel like they should stick to those stories, but they're so hung up on the Dark Phoenix saga, and they always want to return to that because it's their. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a big deal when someone dies, but at the same time, though, like when you don't make that a significant thing, like someone can come back, that's bullshit. But at the same time, though, like when a character when their time has come, then their time has come, and they should like stick. Like once again, like it's going back, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were like, she's dead. But then, like, literally 10 years later, it's like, because obviously, like, through whatever reasons, like, we got some more things that we can talk about with her. We got some more stories that she can go through.
That's why I think it's bullshit.
So, I mean, on one side, if you make it such a significant change, like someone being killed, you need to, like, stick through with that.
Yeah. Like Karen Page with Daredevil. Like, they've never brought her back. If anything, they gave Daredevil more Karen Pages, like with Mila Johnson. Like she's in a fucking crazy ward now. She's in a straitjacket because of Daredevil.
I just want to say, I forgot.
I just want to say fuck Cyclops. He's a bitch.
Well, talking about this right now, I guess I don't remember what I was gonna say, but moving back on to Second Coming. By this point, Nightcrawler's dead, and X-Men are pretty much fuming over it. But during this time, I thought it was very awkward because Cyclops, obviously, he's very happy to see his child for the first time, but it was very awkward. Like, if I was Cyclops, I'd be fucking still, like, mourning over someone I've known for so long being dead, instead of going, like, I mean, they just made him, like, he smiled at her. Like, it was really fucked up. Like, he should be like, hey, you know what I mean? Like,
and why the fuck is the top panel there? Why does it have his fucking hand pointed? Why is that like such a detailed thing that his hand has to be with a pointed finger?
What do you mean, like they're detailing that he's pointing his finger at?
Like, I don't know. That's just like Cyclops in a fucking nutshell. He's always pointing his fucking finger. Yeah. Like, go do this.
Right.
Go here. Come here. Right. Do this. Do that. Why is he pointing his finger? And I don't think Cyclops, I don't even hate Cyclops like that. Like, I like Cyclops. But why do they always have to write him in that fashion?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know why I mean, like, I guess they've always made Cyclops into that leader-like figure. Like, and like,
yeah,
purely
but like, a leader doesn't have to point his finger. Right. A leader you shouldn't even have to. You shouldn't have to fucking breathe to be a leader.
And this is, and obviously, and this is, I guess, one point why it's kind of good, because you're seeing the politics of it all, of what happens through war. Because once again, Cyclops, like, who do you blame? And obviously, he was saying that, he's blame it all on myself. But obviously, he's not. In reality, he's not really even, like, he's saying that. He's saying, like, put all the blame on me. But, like, he's obviously, he's pointing, like you said, he's pointing his finger, like, he's saying, throughout this comic, he's like, through everything that happens, Nightcrawler dying and all that, blame it on me. We talk about this later, so you can blame it on me. So, like, but in reality, even through all that stuff being said, him saying, blame it on me, he's still saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still pointing blame at other people, not himself.
Yeah. Like,
if he was a real leader, he wouldn't be pointing, he'd You know what I mean?
He'd be leading by actions.
Exactly. He'd be like, all right, this is what needs to be done right
He's
now.
He's a fucking prima donna.
So,
and I don't even believe Cyclops is like that.
You're seeing that once again with the whole, schism kind of happens next. Wolverine being really fucking pissed off at how Cyclops is acting about this.
Yeah.
And the corner he's been painting himself into.
And that's the thing. They killed Nightcrawler in a way where it's like the respectability of the character could be completely intact, but he could be dead. He lost his heart. He was essentially stabbed through the fucking heart.
His fucking... I'm just saying, though, that he's just awkwardly dead there. I just feel like that was drawn, like, really stupid. Like,
well, it's also done by the Dodsons. And
all I'm saying is, like, that's how, like...
That's the thing. I love this story, but I'm not really a fan of Greg Land. I'm not really a fan of the Dodsons.
None of the X-Men would ever put him into a better, like, pose. Like, they're just like, oh, he's dead like that. That's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like they just, like, dropped him on the floor.
They're, like, to me, those two artists, they're, like, the...
it's good art, but, like,
minimum fucking payment... maximum profit, To me, that's those. I don't even mean to diss them, but it's like you got David Finch on the cover, and you got Terry Dodson on Nightcrawler's death. It's like God. Like,
well, I mean, once again, like, okay,
that's what
so
you're doing
like
wrong.
Cyclops said, "I'm very happy to finally meet you," but like once again, he shouldn't have had a smile on his face. He said, "But one of my best friends just fucking died."
He looks like fucking Kelso from that '70s show.
Anyway. So now they're kind of grieving with that shit, doing the funeral. Things are being said because obviously the elephant in the room. One of the covers is New Mutants number 13, and it's a pretty dope cover because they're all disintegrating. Losing more fucking mutants. Everything's closing in around them, closer and faster.
But like, okay, going back to the cover of the disintegration, that's a whole comic book story arc right there. How they all feel that way, even.
Right.
Like, you could go into a whole bunch of different scenarios from that.
Right.
But that's something you should explore for like 10... We were talking about this earlier. Second Coming should have lasted more so than it did. Because it was a story that deserved a longer telling, just like Avengers vs. X-Men.
We were talking about Avengers vs. X-Men, not...
we were. But even Second Coming, I mean, it was rushed. The way
they're always going to be rushed.
They came to the conclusion that this is the way it needed to go, and we need to end it. We need to end it now in order to start a new era of stories. And it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. At the end of the day, you can say whatever you want to say about me, about the way I'm coming about it, but it's unnecessary.
So, alright, so eventually a giant bubble circles in all of San Francisco.
Giant bubble, let's go.
So, I do also think it's kind of, like, once again, they're playing on the whole gay thing about X-Men being an analogy for gay stuff, so they're all, salvation is found in San Francisco. And then, coincidentally, all of San Francisco is all fucking covered, so pretty much this is also a ploy of removing a bunch of gay people, too. So whether that's happening or not, once again, this is an anti-mutant agenda, but it also coincidentally is also taking offense on a bunch of homosexuals too, and that's the whole message. And once again, I will say, homosexuals should be included with the X-Men, not be the only thing about the X-Men.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the premier arc of it all. It should be a part of it, because that's what. It's part of human beings. It's part of Homo sapiens.
I do find it interesting that Nightcrawler, technically, once again, I would say that the religious people have sort of become a minority in a sense, and that's why he kind of fits in really well with... And I'm not even talking about, like, a bigoted religious person, because once again, you're seeing, I would say, like, this mutant hatred group are kind of like a religious group in a sense, and they're just very bigoted. But I would say Nightcrawler is kind of like what a true Catholic would represent, or is supposed to represent anyway. So,
that's coming from a Protestant.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
So, they're trying to get out of the bubble, and they find out they're stuck in it, and they're trying to come up with an answer to how to get it. Then there's another mini bubble inside, and a bunch of Nimrods are coming out. So now they're pretty much, like being suffocated pretty heavily. People are getting fucked up. People are losing their hands. A lot of fight and struggle. Then there's still, obviously that, like, typical, like, daughter hating her fucking dad, or just not even daughter, just like, you know, offspring hating their fucking parent.
Dude, Cyclops is really a bitch in this book.
He's being a little bitch in this.
He really is. Like, even after this book, like, towards Avengers vs. X-Men, like, it was kind of cool the way he was taking a stance against Captain America and the rest. But after that, it was like, damn, you're a fucking bitch, dude. Like, you're a little... God damn.
X-Force gets sent to the future because that's, like, pretty much their own, like... only way of potentially ending this thing.
Again, Terry Dodson artwork, though.
Potentially, I mean, they're hoping that going into the future will end all of this.
Imagine if
all the Nimrods are coming from.
Just for a second, imagine if Greg Capullo, David Finch, and James Herron illustrated all of Second Coming. This book would be completely different.
It's crazy that it isn't just by, like, you know, 3 people or whatever. It's by
it's by Terry Dodson.
It's interesting.
Also his wife.
Well, I mean, like,
Greg
going
Land,
back to, like, you know, we had Len
David
Wein
Finch.
and all that. You know what I mean? Like, these people are pretty much writing, like, in
Paul Smith is one of my favorite X-Men artists.
Who's the other big name for X-Men? Not just Jim Lee, but I can't remember his fucking name right now. He wrote a lot of X-Men, but I can't. Anyway.
Chris Claremont.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm talking for art. I mean, the writing. There's nothing really wrong with the. I just feel like
there's
the
some
art
holes in this, but
okay. But like for some of the art, I feel like
we're about to get to one big hole. Anyway.
Like David Finch, he did 2 issues out of the 15 or 16 or so that were done in here. If James Herron and Greg Capullo and, you know, you want to throw some other big names in there, you know, I could come up with some later on. But essentially what I'm saying is, like, they had a lot of, I don't want to say subpar artists, but artists I don't really care for. And they were cheap. And it was just like, let's get this done right now. Like, let's push this out, you know?
I mean, I think almost any business or most businesses are typically... are always for profit.
Yeah, and I mean those artists were also working on other things. I think Capullo was still working on Spawn at that point, you know, and but it just makes me think, like, the Dodsons, Greg Land, like, they weren't the ones for this story. Like, I still appreciate this book. I'll always appreciate this book. But
I mean, this is like going back to what you talked about this on a previous podcast, where there's some stories that a artist or a writer or both shouldn't be touching because they have no idea where they're getting into.
Or it's like the Watchmen prequels that they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Let's I never read any of those, but yeah, we can get into that.
So X-Force are brought into the future, and Cable only has one way of is using his time. Pretty much his time machine thing or whatever, his time gadget, whatever. But he's only got one left, and they decide to go in the future. And some of them, if not all of them, realize that there's no way of going back in time when they go into the future. Some of the X-Men of technically the present, but technically in this case the past, are pissed off that they just sent a bunch of X-Men into the future that go get killed. My biggest gripe right there is when they stop the threat, Cable sacrifices himself for the X-Men to go back in time. I don't understand how the fuck they were able to go through the fucking the portal, because apparently they're supposed to get infested with a techno-organic virus, and which happens exactly with Cable, but how the fuck do the rest of the X-Men, how are they not affected by it?
He holds it all off, I guess, for him. Like, essentially, he's so strong or whatever, he's already infected with it, so he attracts all of the fucking whatever.
Is that what you just like?
That's from what I remember. I haven't read this story in a few years now, but like, essentially, Cable ingests all that they should be infected with, and he just completely is destroyed.
Yeah, okay, so I found the frame where, once again, something is coming through the membrane, and you see Cable's body. Then you got another thing of whatever the fuck is the enemy saying some bullshit.
Then a new issue.
Yeah, new issue with a new artist, and probably writer too. Please come back to me, says Hope. And Cable is right there, and it's like, Nathan, Emma, can you I've made contact, Cable. Scott, it was the only way. He's saving the only way to save them. Good Lord, the techno-organic virus, he let it out. He'd been fighting it all his life, holding it in, and he stopped. He let it take him. Nathan! Hope, wait! Ah!
That's what I was saying, like...
Laura! She's alive. They're coming through now. We need a doctor here. Now, damn it. Doug! Logan! Take Cypher. He did it. The kid shut it all down. Nathan, please say something. Oh, he's just smiling there. Boom! Nathan! Once again, I think that's some bullshit right there.
Oh man!
All right, so.
Oh man!
The enemy is thwarted.
Thwarted.
And Hope now has some kind of power to destroy the remaining enemy, and somehow I think her power.
She unleashes the Unlocked.
I don't know if it's her power or if literally they're able to I don't know how the suppressing of how no mutants were still coming through. Because once again, Scarlet Witch still isn't being affected. Isn't she dead by this point or something like that? I don't know, but she's not even in this fucking book.
I know it doesn't make.
And then all of a sudden, at the end of it, because of all of this, mutants are starting to come back. Mutants are being found again
Because Hope's ultimate power was finally unlocked because of the destiny that was. Thwarted, essentially.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit.
A lot of fucking time traveling bullshit.
So I mean, once again, there's some flaws in this. And like you said, like we were just saying, it goes through so fast. There's no time. So much better. I'm sure that there's a giant thought bubble. I mean, like there's a giant writer's room for this. You know what I mean? What happens and stuff. I'm sure because obviously it's such a big thing.
Well, this book also, I think, affected other companies like DC. I mean, a year or two after this, you figure this book started in 2009.
Yeah.
And the trade paperback came out in early 2011. Like the New 52 for DC came out in early 2012. Apparently, I remember it being September 2010.
I mean, I just remember that the New 52 just because I was doing HeroClix and stuff, and we were trying to talk about it.
I remember the New 52 beginning in September 2010 because it was the first month I smoked marijuana, and it was the first month I took this class in high school, and it was I was a senior in high school in September of 2010. I graduated in 2011, June 2011, and I just remember Justice League #1 coming out for the New 52, and they were like, oh, there's more to come, but it's not coming out until December and January or whatever. So Batman came out and all these other books came out later on, but I just remember Justice League coming out at that one point, and it really felt like a complete reboot unnecessarily for this company. Why are they doing this?
I mean, Marvel and DC have both done it so many times.
But it was a complete DC for.
They were trying to update their characters.
Yeah, update, but
which is stupid. They thought that they need to update their characters. They felt
but
for some reason you can't
restart them. They didn't realize they had to restart them. They wanted to reboot them without realizing oh fuck, we have to completely retell the whole story
all over again. And
have you ever heard the Superman radio story? That shit is awesome.
Apparently, that was the reason why Kryptonite existed.
Word.
They actually
dude, that shit is dope.
Once again, though, when you have such a strong ass character, you need to have a strong villain, and if you can't,
I don't even care about Superman, but that radio,
I never really
that radio,
out, but I know a little bit.
Whatever broadcast of it, that shit is cool.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think that we pretty much got all of it though. Yeah, So I mean, there's still some
Cyclops
threads.
is a bitch.
Well,
for sure.
by the end of it, obviously, X-Men or not X-Men, but Wolverine still has his gripes with Scott, and you're gonna see that. And then obviously Beast, I think, is now in that, but I'm sure he's gonna. I think he chooses.
Yeah, even Beast, just the way they treat some of the characters in the book is very disappointing.
I mean, when you're writing, say you were writing a script or something like that.
Short-lived, but very harsh in its.
They just needed someone to say the dialogue, and they decided it's gonna be Beast.
Yeah, same with Cyclops.
Exactly. We need exactly. They weren't thinking about literally what the characters represented. Well, they did only on face value once again. Oh,
Yeah.
Cyclops is leader? Okay, this is what a leader does. This is what a bad leader would do.
Yeah, bad leader.
And oh, Wolverine's a savage? Alright, this is what a savage would do. Oh, Magneto's a guy who's recovering
Scientist
leader?
of the group, this is what he would do. He would leave, but he would come back when needed.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Like, I think, like, literally, it's, like, to write an X-Men book, bare minimum, you need to read all of X-Men. That's how I think. It's like, you're allowed, that's the only reason, that's the only way you'd be allowed to write any of these things. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, like, you gotta know the history of your character.
No, and I do.
I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying
No,
yeah.
but, like, they did too, but, again...
Not
they're not given the opportunity to write a real story. They're given 12 issues. Mm-hmm. They're given 15 issues. Right. They're given 30 issues.
Yeah. Well,
and you gotta expand everything you wanted to say.
Once again, when they have a name on this about who's writing what, I really think, isn't it more of just like a fucking, they get a room of people, of writers, and go, this is what's gonna happen, and then like pretty much whoever came, I don't know how. But not that I'm like that they do that with movies. They do it with everything.
They do.
Why would you want to have one writer when you could have 5 writers? That's 5 brains working on it.
I know, but like there's something wrong.
No, exactly. I know exactly.
And you know that, but like
I know exactly
companies don't get this.
Well, once again, you throw more money at it. That's going to solve the problem, which is not true. And I think that's probably another reason why World War III is going to happen. You can also, like, throw money at
turn the fucking grill on and know how to cook, but not turn the fucking propane off, and then your house blows up. So... Or
you have all the tools, you have the food, but you don't know how to cook it. You know what I mean? Like, is this good? This is long enough, right? 5 minutes? That's long enough. I'm going to eat this as is. Eat some chicken that way, motherfucker. See what happens. You can eat raw meat all you want. You can't eat raw chicken.
What?
You can eat steak raw. I've had that shit.
Yeah. I heard steak is actually like one of the healthiest for you raw.
Yeah, I mean,
compared to like
I know red meats
certain
can
fish.
be. I mean, like apparently, like if you do Weight Watchers, I mean, I don't do it, but I heard like not breaded chicken or anything, not fried chicken, but like just chicken itself. I think if you could just like. You don't put anything on it, it's like doesn't cost any of the points or whatever, so it's actually like very, like the most healthy for you. Like Chick-fil-A, they're always constantly just trying to like go like this is healthier for you, this is healthier for you. So, which is kind of true. But we can go on with other things, but I think we pretty much covered most of it. Yeah, I mean, any closing words? Or is there another topic that you think you can rile up?
We could possibly rile up another topic.
If you want to.
This is Nocturne Russo saying I gotta take another break.
Well, I was gonna say, do you want to take a break real quick? Yeah. Well, so we're gonna do that. So I watched some baseball the last couple of days. I watched the Mets game and I watched the Pirates game. I played Little League when I was younger. I played I guess as like Yankees, and I think I played as like the Rays. And I think the Braves, and maybe another team or two. But besides the point, I always like I always like playing the game rather than watching it, and specifically for baseball, especially. But I liked watching football a lot when I was younger. I mean, I would love to play it, but I mean, you need a lot of players for football. Even you need a lot of players for fucking baseball too, but that's besides the point. So anyway, watching the Mets game, I think they ended up winning like by 11 points. Well, not by 11 points, but they ended up winning like 11-8 or something. And like they had a giant lead. Like it was pretty much, I think it was like 8 to like fucking, might have been 8-4. I can't remember. It was like 11-4. I don't remember, but there was a strong ass lead. And yet, by the end, like I mean, just like with football, it's kind of interesting to see because you see the stamina of these teams. Like, and sometimes it might even be a lucky break. Mets were able to hold off, and I think they ended up winning like I said, like 11-8. I can't remember who they played against.
That was another thing I wanted
Washington
to bring up with
something.
you, but I'll let you continue.
And the only other thing was I also watched the Pirates game. They were playing against the Cardinals. This was yesterday on April Fool's Day, and it was like 4-0 for most of the innings for the Pirates. They were up by 4, and they were not able to maintain their stamina in this case. Before the ninth inning was over, Cardinals get to 4, so it's now 4-4. So there's now a couple extra innings. By the 11th inning on the top, Cardinals make a point. I think they end up making a run. But there were a couple of flaws, and you see like it's kind of funny in a way because the cameras are able to and the announcers were able to like, kind of like, you know what I mean, this guy, you see this guy like he should have been able to get this easy thing, but he ended up like flopping for or he just like not getting the fucking ball, not catching it real quick, or these are easy things, and just because of these small little mistakes, big things happen. And because of these small little mistakes, the Pirates lost their fucking game. And it ends up 5-4, and Cardinals win. So, with that being all said, I don't know, man. It was very draining. I think if if the game ended by the 9th inning, I probably would have watched the Mets game too. I think the Mets might have won. I don't remember. Maybe they lost. I don't know, but that's besides the point. It was kind of exciting. But, I mean, I always pictured most professional games, and some people have said that I've talked to about this, said that this can happen, but, like, for the most part, it's like, if they don't hit, like, a home run, or they don't, like, it's like a game can go by really fast, is what I'm getting at, like, 3 strikes out, fucking, or 3 strikes, or, getting 9 strikes pretty quick, like, boom, 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 and, that didn't exactly happen these last couple games, but, I don't know. Maybe I was just all in my head where I just always felt like the professional leagues were like just so much more intense than they actually are. So, but with that being all said, I don't know if Nocturnal Rooster's got something to say.
No, I was just gonna tell you, like, I know you're a Mets fan.
My brother is a Mets fan, so I kind of like. I would say I'm honestly right now more of a Pirates fan right now. So,
yeah. I like the Mariners and the Braves, but if I had to choose, I'd probably say I'm a Braves fan right now. But yeah, no, I was gonna say like the Mets, like you can't catch them on radio now in New York State, like upstate New York. Yeah,
specifically, yep.
Yeah, because the way Entercom, I guess the New York Mets are the ones who reneged on the contract, like they wanted a higher price for the distribution rights of their games, and Entercom didn't want to pay it, so now you can't catch broadcasts of New York Mets games on the radio, or Syracuse Mets
specifically.
Yeah, and I guess they've only been carrying them for the past couple of years here in upstate New York, but
I see. And it's not. We were the Syracuse
Chiefs.
Weren't we something before that, or
Sky Chiefs?
Yeah, Sky Chiefs. Yeah, we were the Sky Chiefs.
But we were the Chiefs before we were the Sky Chiefs.
Where did the Sky come in?
Toronto. Our affiliation with the Toronto Blue Jays. It's like they're bird.
So the Sky Chiefs.
So, but I loved it. That was my favorite. That was like my favorite team,
incarnation,
like ever, man. Because it's like the way the S was drawn, it almost looked like a big cloud. And then there was this plane made out of a bat.
Yeah.
That was World War II style, like piercing through the clouds.
Yeah.
It was just a beautiful logo. Sky Chiefs.
Now we're the Syracuse Mets.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I don't mind that necessarily.
No, it is what it is. I mean, even my grandfather, who was a owner of, or part owner of the Chiefs, as it was, because it was owned by the city, by Syracuse civilians, and then it was sold without their knowledge to the Syracuse Mets. But I mean, even he's like.
I mean, are they making money off it at all?
Who?
If you have a partnership in it all.
I mean, you're getting a check at some point.
At some point.
Probably for under $1,000.
Yeah.
Hey, couple $100. Go enjoy your time. Go enjoy one night.
I mean, okay, so with that all being said, this is some last words I'm going to say. Is it just a businessman in disguise? Is it just a businesswoman in disguise? Are they trying to just sell you a fucking product? Is that all they're trying to fucking do? And I'm going to be completely honest. I'm trying to sell you a product, but there's some substance to it. And sometimes you want to buy a product because it's got that shit.
But the substance is being lost over time.
That's true.
Eventually, it's just like a bullshit ass competition that doesn't even really amount to
Yeah, because I
anything.
mean, realistically, I mean,
Back in the day,
why are
there
you
used to
making
be
it in the
passion.
first place?
There used to be heart to it all.
Yeah.
Now that's being lost more and more.
This is what no. This is one thing I hope never to take it in the ass, literally and figuratively.
I will never take it in the ass. I don't hope to. I will never.
You know, I will never. I will never take it in the ass, figuratively or literally either. This is Jer speaking. But
keep hoping. I will never.
So with that being all said, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean. Whenever people are always like, you know what I mean, they're a sellout. I mean, what they're really trying to say, and you know, you've heard this before, I'm sure. What they're really trying to say is they sold their values for money, essentially. That'd be like, say for example, like say if the Nazi Party actually had a fuck ton of money right now, and like even if they're like very hated right now, they like you were sponsored by them, so you're like, Nazis are good. But like them. Nazis are good.
They got so much money.
Yeah,
can't help
dude,
but
it's
like.
So disgusting. It's disgusting. It's because once again, like that's where there's the problem. You're trying. I mean, like I can understand where someone's like they've been just trying for years and years, and maybe they're trying to do this on purpose for years and years and years and years and years and years. You're just trying to, you know, make a living off of what, I mean, all you can, you know what I mean, this is all you can do. You can't really, because you can't really make it out for the last, you know what I mean, you're in and out of jobs every couple of months, you just literally can't, you know, this is all you're good at, or like, you know what I mean, or maybe you're not good at it at all, but I mean, like, eventually, regardless if you're good at it or not, you just go, I'll do whatever it takes, and you just become a fucking figurehead, or you're just literally, like, for example, there's this new popular girl named, like, Billie English or something like that, or Eilish or Billie Eilish, I can't remember, but she's actually known. Well, there's a whole lot of like a lot of speculation, or this might even be fact here. That like she's known in. I'm totally like kind of like fucking. Long story short, here she's like they I forgot the fucking actual specific term is called, but like it's like the label something, but like they just kind of like a label will spit out a person and then just like advertise the fuck out of how great they are, regardless if you even know that or not, or even if like they aren't good, you just keep on advertising about how good they are. So pretty much they're just like lying to your face. I mean, like I guess in this case, apparently the album that she put out is actually really good. Apparently, I mean I don't know, but like. How often does an individual on the average basis get the same kind of treatment or advertisement that she did? Typically never, because it all has come down to shaking hands and who you know and your connections. And in this case, I think she might have been related to, and I'm not throwing any jealousy or any shade here. I mean, like, it is what it is. I'm doing what I want to do regardless of the situation I'm in right now. Like, if
whoever the fuck this person
even if I had a sponsorship right now, I'm still gonna be doing what I'm doing, what I want to do. Like, that's it. I mean, I think like the mind frame, the mindset you want to have is that it's just no longer exactly a problem anymore. I mean, it's just like, all right, that's just not one more thing I have to worry about anymore. Like, what do I have to worry about now? Is other thing, and there's other things that you can worry about. You know what I mean? So, and like you said, why worry at all in the first place? So.
Just be natural. You got nothing.
But just I don't know, man. Just
be natural.
What are they trying to sell you? Are they just trying to sell you a book? Are they trying to sell you some merchandise? I mean, like, realistically, like, you know what I mean? I could just make a T-shirt, and is there any message behind it? No, and like, there doesn't sometimes have to be a message. It could just look like a really good shirt, But then there's also people who, like, you know what I mean, you're in a band or you're a charity event and you're trying to sell your shirt for this reason or that. Like, what's the message behind it? I mean, I would, if I had the currency, I would potentially want to, you know, pay for some charities or, you know, volunteer even. But my biggest thing, we're closing this up. My biggest thing, I guess, is just where's that money going towards? So, with that all being said, be careful who you trust.
Can we get that last 13 minutes in?
Not yet.
Damn.
We're literally 30 seconds away from it. Well, the last thing I wanted to say is you can trust me. No. Trust your instincts, but not your impulses. And fact check that shit. With that all being said, are there any last words? Any last words at all that you want to say that's going to be recorded forever?
I want to thank the Bald Eagle for the Heine Kings.
We still got about a minute.
And I want to thank myself, the Nocturnal Rooster, for appearing, getting through all the heavy cop patrols going on in the city that's salty. And, just make sure you yield at yield signs, because I see a lot of motherfuckers, they'll be at a stop sign, I'll be at yield, and I'll yield, but they won't stop. When you're at a stop, you gotta stop. I mean, I gotta yield, and I come to a stop at a yield, but you gotta stop at a stop. You gotta really stop. And people don't do that. So just, watch your yields, watch your stops.
GRMBL, GRMBLS. That is us. No, that's not us. That's just me. Bye.